truly grasp the scientific revolution, we must first understand the world in which it began. The 16th and 17th centuries were a time of profound transformation across Europe. Society was shifting, old ideas were being questioned, and new ways of thinking were emerging. This period was marked by a blend of tradition and innovation, where the seeds of change were sown in everyday life, politics, and the economy. As we journey through these scenes, we'll uncover how these conditions created fertile ground for scientific breakthroughs that would forever alter our understanding of the universe. For the scientific revolution, Europe was dominated by a medieval worldview. Knowledge was largely based on ancient texts and religious teachings, with little room for questioning or experimentation. The church held significant power, shaping not only spiritual life but also intellectual pursuits. Most people accepted explanations handed down from authorities without challenge. However, as the Renaissance spread new ideas and curiosity, cracks began to appear in this rigid structure. People started to wonder if there might be more to discover beyond what was already known. Catholic Church was the central authority in Europe, guiding not only faith but also education and science. Universities were often church-run, and scholars were expected to align their findings with religious doctrine. This strong influence meant that challenging established beliefs could be risky. Yet as new discoveries emerged, some thinkers began to push back, seeking explanations based on observation and reason. This tension between tradition and inquiry set the stage for revolutionary changes in how people approached knowledge. Renaissance was a cultural movement that swept through Europe, inspiring a renewed interest in art, literature, and science. Humanism encouraged people to value individual achievement and question traditional authority. This intellectual awakening led to thirst for knowledge and a willingness to explore new ideas. Artists and scholars began to study the natural world more closely, laying the groundwork for scientific inquiry. The spirit of the Renaissance helped fuel the curiosity and skepticism that would drive the scientific revolution. Invention of the printing press in the mid-15th century revolutionized the spread of information. Books became more accessible, allowing ideas to travel quickly across Europe. Scholars could now share their discoveries and debate theories with a much wider audience. This rapid exchange of knowledge helped break down barriers and encouraged collaboration. The printing press played a crucial role in making scientific ideas more democratic, setting the stage for widespread intellectual change. During this period, universities began to flourish across Europe. These institutions became centers for learning, debate, and discovery. While many were still influenced by religious authorities, some started to embrace new methods of inquiry. Students and professors engaged in lively discussions, challenging old ideas and testing new ones. The growth of universities provided a supportive environment for scientific thinkers to develop and share their work, helping to nurture the revolution that was to come. 16th and 17th centuries saw significant economic growth in Europe. Trade routes expanded, new markets opened, and wealth increased. This prosperity allowed more people to pursue education and invest in scientific research. Merchants and entrepreneurs were eager to support innovations that could improve their businesses. The growing economy created demand for practical knowledge, such as navigation and engineering, further fueling the desire for scientific advancement. Cities grew, so did opportunities for learning and collaboration. Urban centers became hubs of activity, where people from different backgrounds could exchange ideas. The diversity of city life encouraged innovation and experimentation. Artisans, merchants, and scholars worked side by side, blending practical skills with theoretical knowledge. This vibrant urban environment played a key role in fostering the creativity and curiosity that would drive the scientific revolution. Europe was not a unified continent during this era. Instead, it was divided into many competing kingdoms and states. This political fragmentation meant that no single authority could suppress new ideas everywhere. If one ruler opposed a particular theory, scientists could often find support elsewhere. This competition among states sometimes led to a race for innovation, as leaders sought to gain an edge through scientific and technological advances. Protestant Reformation challenged the Catholic Church's dominance, leading to religious upheaval across Europe. This movement encouraged people to question authority and seek truth for themselves. The resulting diversity of beliefs created an environment where debate and inquiry were valued. In some regions, religious tolerance allowed for greater freedom of thought, giving scientists more room to explore new ideas without fear of persecution. Age of exploration opened up new worlds and new possibilities. European explorers traveled to distant lands, bringing back knowledge, goods, and inspiration. Navigational challenges required better maps and instruments, spurring advances in mathematics and astronomy. The excitement of discovery encouraged a spirit of curiosity and experimentation, pushing scientists to look beyond traditional boundaries and seek new explanations for the world around them. Key shift during this period was the rise of empiricism, the belief that knowledge comes from observation and experience. Scientists began to rely more on experiments and evidence rather than tradition or authority. This new approach encouraged careful measurement, documentation, and skepticism. Empiricism laid the foundation for the scientific method, which would become the hallmark of modern science. Scientific research often depended on wealthy patrons who provided funding and resources. Kings, nobles, and merchants supported scientists in hopes of gaining prestige or practical benefits. This patronage system allowed thinkers to pursue their work without worrying about financial survival. In return, patrons enjoyed the rewards of innovation, whether in the form of new technologies, improved navigation, or simply the glory of discovery. Formation of scientific societies provided a new way for thinkers to collaborate and share ideas. Groups like the Royal Society in England brought together scholars from different fields, encouraging interdisciplinary work. These societies published journals, organized meetings, and set standards for scientific research. Their efforts helped create a sense of community among scientists and promoted the exchange of knowledge across borders. New tools and instruments played a crucial role in the scientific revolution. The telescope, microscope, and improved clocks allowed scientists to observe and measure the world with greater accuracy. These technological advances made it possible to test theories and gather evidence in ways that had never been done before. As instruments improved, so did the quality and reliability of scientific discoveries. As scientific discoveries accumulated, people began to see the world in new ways. The old belief in a fixed, unchanging universe gave way to a dynamic view of nature. The idea that humans could understand and even control natural forces was both exciting and unsettling. This shift in worldview challenged traditional authorities and inspired further exploration, laying the groundwork for the modern age. Mathematics became increasingly important during the scientific revolution. Scientists used mathematical models to describe the laws of nature, from planetary motion to the behavior of light. This reliance on numbers and equations allowed for precise predictions and deeper understanding. The growing use of mathematics marked a major departure from earlier approaches, emphasizing logic and consistency in scientific work. Scientific revolution was shaped by remarkable individuals like Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler, and Newton. These thinkers challenged accepted wisdom and developed new theories based on observation and experimentation. Their courage and creativity inspired others to question, investigate, and innovate. The achievements of these pioneers demonstrated the power of human reason and the potential for progress. Improved communication networks, including roads and postal systems, made it easier for scientists to share their findings. Letters, books, and journals traveled faster than ever before, connecting thinkers across Europe. This flow of information helped build a community of scholars who could learn from each other's successes and failures. The rapid exchange of ideas was essential for the progress of science. Scientific method became the standard approach for investigating the natural world. This process involved making observations, forming hypotheses, conducting experiments, and drawing conclusions. By relying on evidence and repeatable results, scientists could build reliable knowledge. The adoption of the scientific method marked a turning point, making science more systematic and trustworthy. One of the most significant aspects of the scientific revolution was the willingness to challenge authority. Scientists questioned long-held beliefs, whether from the church, ancient philosophers, or political leaders. This spirit of skepticism encouraged critical thinking and debate. By testing ideas against evidence, thinkers paved the way for new discoveries and a more open, dynamic intellectual climate. Contact with other cultures brought new knowledge and perspectives to Europe. Trade and exploration introduced Europeans to advances in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine from the Islamic world, India, and China. This exchange of ideas enriched European science and inspired further investigation. The scientific revolution was not an isolated event, but part of a global network of learning and discovery. Rationalism, the belief in reason as the primary source of knowledge, gained popularity during this era. Philosophers like Descartes argued that logic and deduction could reveal universal truths. This emphasis on rational thought complemented the empirical approach, creating a powerful combination that drove scientific progress. Rationalism encouraged thinkers to seek explanations based on evidence and reason, rather than tradition or superstition. The rise of scientific publishing allowed discoveries to reach a wider audience. Journals and books documented experiments, theories, and debates, making it easier for others to learn and build on previous work. This culture of sharing and transparency accelerated the pace of innovation and helped establish science as a collaborative endeavor. Economic motives often drove scientific research. Governments and businesses sought practical solutions to problems in navigation, mining, agriculture, and manufacturing. The promise of profit and efficiency encouraged investment in new technologies and methods. This focus on practical applications helped ensure that scientific advances had a real impact on society. Education began to change during the scientific revolution. New schools and curricula emphasized observation, experimentation, and critical thinking. Students were encouraged to question and investigate, rather than simply memorize. These reforms helped create a new generation of thinkers who were prepared to push the boundaries of knowledge. Although opportunities were limited, some women made important contributions to science during this period. Figures like Maria Sibylla Merian and Margaret Cavendish challenged social norms and pursued research in fields like biology and philosophy. Their achievements paved the way for greater inclusion in the centuries to come, highlighting the importance of diverse perspectives in scientific progress. Not everyone welcomed the changes brought by the scientific revolution. Some religious and political leaders resisted new ideas, fearing they would undermine traditional authority. Scientists sometimes faced censorship, persecution, or ridicule. Despite these obstacles, the momentum of discovery proved unstoppable, as evidence and reason gradually won out over dogma. Scientific revolution left a lasting legacy, transforming not only science but also society, politics, and the economy. The emphasis on observation, experimentation, and reason became central to modern life. Advances in technology, medicine, and industry improved living standards and reshaped the world. The spirit of inquiry and innovation continues to inspire us today. Summary: the scientific revolution was not the result of a single cause, but rather a complex interplay of social, political, and economic factors. Changing worldviews, new technologies, economic growth, and the courage to question authority all contributed to this remarkable period of discovery. By understanding these conditions, we gain a deeper appreciation for the forces that shape the modern world and the ongoing importance of curiosity and critical thinking.